Here's another thing I have questions about. I'm sure you saw what the president put on Truth Social shortly before his meeting with Xi Jinping. Let me read it to you. Because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. Okay. So let's talk about all the things that are wrong with this. One, does he not know the difference between nuclear weapons and nuclear capabilities? Does he know the difference but is choosing to share the existence of nuclear weapons? And while he probably thinks that this is somehow acting as a deterrent, are you at all concerned that he just set off a nuclear arms race?
The president is very much shooting from the hip. The United States has tested nuclear weapons more than China and Russia combined. And we don't need the president shooting from the hip, injecting uncertainty into nuclear testing or anything to do with nuclear weapons. I mean, the prudent thing for him to do is, frankly, back off of what he said, recognize that he made a mistake. If he was looking for leverage, this was not the way to do it.
Well, to that point, Congressman, you know, look, I've always believed when it comes to Trump, he's living in the 1950s. There's a 1950s view of the American economy. It's a 1950s view of our relationship with our allies when it comes to things like tariffs. There's a 1950s view when it comes to what we're seeing playing out now with Russia. You're absolutely right, sir. Between Russia and the United States, we own the nuclear corner. 90% of all the nukes in the world rests in those two spots. So the idea of testing has ramifications for sure, but it also speaks to a different time. I was struck by what the vice president had to say. I'd like you to listen to it, and we can have a little chat about it on the other side.
I think the president's truth speaks for itself. We have a big arsenal, obviously. The Russians have a large nuclear arsenal. The Chinese have a large nuclear arsenal. Sometimes you've got to test it to make sure that it's functioning and working properly.
Is that how our nuclear program works? I mean, is that the plan? We just test it? I mean, it's like I got to go outside and sort of test drive the car to make sure it's working.
Turn the sprinklers on.
Turn the sprinkler system on, see if that's working. How about if I go flip a few light switches and see if they work? I mean, what are these folks talking about? Do they really understand what's at stake here when they make these types of moves and what it means geopolitically?
Sorry. No, they really don't. Look, the nuclear arsenal is tested on a regular basis. Every component of the nuclear arsenal is tested. There are supercomputers that are modeling this stuff. We've tested these systems repeatedly. There is no need to do a sort of live fire test of a nuclear weapon. It has been done since the early 90s, and
George Bush
opens up a Pandora's box that we don't want to get into. So I mean, it's nonsense. It's poorly thought through. I think, you know, the VP is trying to cover for the president, who's obviously shooting from the hip. That's my take on it.
Shalom Akim. We the brothers from the GMS SF Bay Area camp, coming at you with another in-transit lesson through the spirit and power of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Blessed with another week to bring to you this beautiful word. Lord's will this lesson be edifying and exhortating to the body. First and foremost, we want to give all praises and glory to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi Bahasham Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Salutations to all you Akim through the four corners of the earth that's preaching his word in sincerity and in truth. And shalom to all you believers that believe on his word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom to you. You know, I'm the brother Manasseh, and I got with me.
I'm the brother Yahawah. I'm the brother Shamar.
You know, through the spirit and power of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, the Lord has his brothers linked up in the spirit. We on our way to the camp. We coming at you with another in-transit lesson. And Lord's will this lesson be edifying. And we going to keep the saying that we have when we start these lessons all with. We going to keep that saying going through the spirit. We one day closer to our enemy Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's downfall. And we one day closer to our Lord and Savior Yahawashi's return on the earth. You know, and prophecy is speaking louder than ever. You got the man of sin and power, which is Esau, Edom. You know, the head guy in charge of America, Babylon the Great. DJ Trump, a.k.a. Nero, is a madman. You know, he's going to lead America to his destruction. As the scriptures say, it's already been prophesied that America, a.k.a. Babylon, is going to fall. You know, and I'm going to bring out this point. You know, Trump made a statement pretty much he said on one of his social media accounts, he said, because of other countries testing their nuclear, you know, it says, because of other countries' testing program, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. So pretty much they're saying, like, to make a statement like that is crazy as a leader, because you're pretty much starting a nuclear arms race. Because you got all other countries that have the capability of touching America, you know? So by you making a statement of you testing your missiles, that's going to lead to other countries saying, look, we got to defend ourselves, because what are you testing your missiles for? That means you're testing them because you want to use them. You know, so this man is moving crazy, and you can see that he's going to be the guy to lead America to its destruction.
Got it.
Yeah, you got it out.
It's Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men.
And that's what the Lord is doing. He's preparing war, and he's waking up the mighty men. You got it out.
It says, and this just for, you know, just for context, when it's talking about Gentiles right here, it's talking about the heathen. So it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
And that's pretty much what you got going on now. Everybody, they're not investing into their the agriculture. Now they're investing to pretty much the military.
Yep.
Just like with Trump, what he said he wants to do, you can't just do that without the money behind it. So now, guarantee you're going to see a lot more funding going towards him, you know, trying to do that, as well as these other nations. All right, with one another, they have all type of treaties and you know, deals with one another to where they're exchanging things for helping out one another militarily wise.
Yep. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, gather yourselves. See, and that just goes to show the Gentiles here is talking about the heathen. It says, and gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord.
And they've been gathering themselves together. That's what you've been seeing over time.
Yep.
And really, since Trump been back in office and the things that he's been doing since he's been in there with all the tariffs and shit like that, you just making these nations come together, they're buying more stronger.
Yep.
Because you already had the what's the shit, BRICS.
Yeah.
All right, it's like, you know, more and more people wanting to join in because they see the benefit in joining in, because America's making everybody trying to abuse everybody like they did back in the day, basically. Because Trump trying to be like, oh no, y'all been having it easy. You gotta pay a lot more money. You gotta do this and that.
America first.
He's trying to basically bully the nations like America did when they first came into power. But now we're living in a day and time where they don't need you anymore. You can't just come in there trying to, regulate everything.
Yep. They got better nuclear capability. They got better weaponry than America. Yep. So they're not afraid anymore. You know, you're not the big bad bully that you once were.
And they got more people on their side.
For sure.
Everybody else, it's a lot more enemies of America than allies.
Yeah. But they all realizing that they have the same common enemy at hand, which is Babylon the Great, and those small hats, by the way.
Yeah.
Which you know, Babylon funds. You know, it says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahawashi, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
Yeah, Yahawashi, meaning the Lord's judgment. That's where he's going to judge you at, over there in that Middle East area.
Yeah.
He's gathering all you nations for the third world war, you know?
And I you know, I just got to state this as well. You know, as the apostles start with the apostle heart, always iterate, this third woe cannot happen until the MOTV, the haragma, the C-hip is pressed out, which what's going on over there shows you that we're that much closer to that, you know, the time of Jacob's trouble and the hour of temptation, which you know, pretty much culminates under the same umbrella. You know, so we're very close to that, you know, to that time.
Yep. I got a quick precept.
Yep.
Jeremiah 49:14. I have heard a rumor from the Lord. And an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together, and come against her, and rise up to the battle.
Yeah, that's right, and that's what these heathen nations are doing, and this is all the will of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. This is all prophecy. You know, if I can bring out this one precept real fast, Baba Kashar.
Because you've been having this, it hasn't been this tense, you know, basically in a long time. All right, and now we're in the times where pretty much we're on the cusp of World War III at any moment. That's why you're seeing the nations coming together more and more, as well as pretty much they getting everything set to where when the Lord puts the Spirit on them to push that button, everybody's ready. Yep. You know, they just preparing for that time.
That's right. This is Job 33:14. For the Most High speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man.
Yeah, because they don't have free will, basically. Yeah, you know, I forget how to say it in Proverbs. You know, the heart of the kings and
the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
Yeah.
As rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will.
Yep. Yeah, so pretty much, you know, the Lord is working on their minds. Yep. You know, because at one point Putin was trying to be cool with America. You know, he's trying to work shit out, be like, hey, you might want to chill, fall back. But now, you know, he more so on the side of like, man, fuck it. You know, all your people gonna be destroyed with you. If y'all feel some type of way about it, y'all should talk to your leader. Yeah. You know.
But that's how that goes into also into Ezekiel, the Lord, you know, putting those hooks in their mouth.
Yep. I got another precept to back you up. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked.
Which is talking about the EU, which is America's allies, which is all a part of NATO. You know, so not only is America's you know, the enemies that they can identify is going to come up against them, but their own actual allies, the ones that they least expect, is going to join as well.
Yep. Because you can see Trump leading that, because it's going to be like it's either them or us.
Yep. And they're more they're more vulnerable because they're closer to Russia. Yep. In which America uses these different European countries as stumping grounds for their military bases. You know, so really they're putting them more at risk, being that close, you know, for their own purposes at that.
Yep. So it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
And the whore is talking about Babylon the Great, America as you know it. All right, and they're gonna send their missiles off as well, man.
It says, for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will.
See? So the Lord is ultimately in control. Prophecy is going to be fulfilled as the Lord intended it to go.
Yep. It's already been written. Babylon the Great shall fall.
Yeah. It said that they're going to hate the whore. You see the hatred being built up with these other nations. You know, they ready to make, the only reason they haven't made a move is because the Spirit, the Lord putting the Spirit on them to not do it at this very moment. Because they ready pretty much. You know, you got Iran and them that be chanting, you know, death to America.
Yep. Well, if anything, they're just like on the right hand side, we're preparing ourselves for the day of the Lord. These nations on the left hand side preparing themselves for this third woe. Yep. Shit, for the Lord to return as well. They're gonna join each other and fight against the Lord and lose miserably. Yep. Yet they're just further preparing themselves. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's why we keep hearing about new technology that they're coming up with, missiles that can get over here even quicker. You know, they're just their swords is further getting sharpened, man.
It says, for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the word of the Most High should be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Which is talking about America.
Right.
Now let me go back to Jeremiah 49 and 16. With Jeremiah 49 and 14, I've heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among men.
Yeah, that's right, man. And Esau, you're insignificant. All right, and you know, like we're going into, you're no longer. Nobody has that fear towards you that they once were, man. They looking at you for the low down, dirty Edomite that you are, man. The frail ass Edomite that you are, you know. And they're bucking up.
Yeah, because like you read, let the weak say I am strong. Mm-hmm. Now they have the capability of the nuclear missile.
Yeah. So
you're not the big bad bully on the block, so to speak. You know, when you had your fat boys and your little man's atomic warfare, you know, now your enemies and your allies have the capability of touching you. It says, thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thy hearts, O thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks.
Yeah, that's right. You forgot where you came from. You forgot who you are. You've been lying so damn much that you even, you know, start believing it. Oh yeah, we're the epitome of mankind. You know, we're the peak. You know, we're this, we're that. No, man, you a dirty ass Edomite that came from the caves, man. Your history is a very shameful and shit demonic history in itself. You know, and now, you know, you have the Lord's prophets reminding you of these things, man. That's why you try to cleave onto every other nation other than who you are. You're the Edomites, man.
Yep.
You know?
It says that holdest the height of the hill. It says, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord.
Yeah, because you reached your peak. You know, we go into this, you know, weekly, you know, chiefly the elder Kwano Waf. You know, this is no longer the nifty 50s for the Edomites, man. You know, they want to go back. That's what that whole make America great again, make America this and that again. No, this place is done. You know, you reached your peak, and now it's time for you to go down.
Yep.
And you've been at a precipitous decline for decades now, really. You know, so it's all manifesting, yep. and that just goes to show the precept that we would have healed Babylon, but there is no healing of it. You know, this place is through.
Yeah, you can tell the place is through by the morals of the people.
Yep.
The society, you know, look at how the people are acting in Babylon the Great. Complete confusion.
Yeah, look at the nation. The nation in rulership, you through. Yep. You two-time losing Edomites. Look at your woman. You know, you can tell. I believe the apostle went into that before. You can tell a nation is conquered by their woman.
Yep.
Hey, they're all you totally through. The man, the woman, and the child. You Edomites, man.
In your kingdom.
Yeah, in your own kingdom.
As Edom shall be a desolation, it says also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it.
Yeah, this place is going to be made a desolate wilderness where only desert-like creatures are going to dwell. This is going to be the pretty much the brand, you know, the ultimate example that the Lord is going to make. How it goes in the scripture, you know, the Lord having Sodom and Gomorrah as an example.
Matter of fact, I got it. This is Jude verse 7. It says, it's in Peter's 2. I think 2 Peter's 2.
Yeah, an example.
It says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah, Jude 1 and 7, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner.
Because we all, you know, you always hear Sodom and Gomorrah, but it was more than two cities. It was what, five?
Five cities.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which five represents power.
Yep.
You know, but those are the main two that you hear about. But it was a total of five cities.
It was Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, what's that? Zorah. It was Zorah, and Zebmoy. Or I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Zibamoy. You know, if I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but it was those 5. Yeah. So it says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities.
And what were they doing in those cities? That's the thing that people don't want to talk about. You know, what was going on in those cities that led forth to them being destroyed? You know, all sorts of wicked abominations, chiefly wicked sex acts. Yeah. You know, you had pedophilia, necrophilia, bestiality, sodomy, incest, you name it. Witchcraft. You know, nothing different than what's taking place here today in Babylon the Great. Mm-hmm. You know?
It says, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh.
And that's all this kingdom presses out. You know? Giving yourself over to wicked lust.
Well, today, you know, what's today about?
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's like on top of them already, dressing up as demons or whatever. They're gonna be giving themselves over to those perverse lusts.
Yep.
You know,
that's right. Pretty much, and enchanting those spirits, man.
It says, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Yeah, now is an example of not how to be, and then here it is having the devil in rulership. What does he do? Take something that was an example of how not to be and created a pride month out of it.
Well, that's why it goes into that in Psalms, the 50th chapter. What are you doing, you know, with the Bible? Or declaring yourself as a God-fearing nation, or that you established America on the principles of the Bible, when you put the law behind you, man. Yeah. You put the instructions behind you, because it's clearly written what should happen unto an adulterer. That was going on in there too. What should happen to an adulterer, a sodomite, a witch, you know, so on and so forth, man.
Pretty much being exposed as a hypocrite.
Yeah,
at this point, everybody's right. Seeing you as like, you claim to be about the Bible, this and that. People who really about the Bible, even though they bugged out, they know that your ass ain't even about it. Because everything that's pushed in America, even the bugged out of like a go hard, you know, pro-American Edomite, that's the so-called Christian, them niggas know that your ass ain't right. You know, that the things that's pushed in America ain't right, because the shit getting out of hand with the wickedness. Yeah. It's so far out of hand at this point that there's no justification for it. You know, having a thing reading to kids at school, little books being given to children saying like it's okay to want to be the opposite gender.
You're having them take puberty blockers.
Yeah. It's no justifying the wickedness that's going on now in Babylon. It's just blatantly to the point to where it's just demonic.
So it's having sodomy in children's shows and movies.
Yeah, it's everywhere, and it's mainly geared towards the children. It ain't even like it's for older people. It's geared towards the children.
Yep.
And it's like, it's blatant at this point.
Yeah, it is. What the scriptures say, when you train up a child in the way he should go, when he grow old, he shall not depart from it. So Esau knows that he wants to get their minds young.
Yeah, they're impressionable.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get this. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them in chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. That's talking about the elect being put in these bodies, because we're gonna be released from these bodies when Yahawashi returns and delivers us, Lord's will. We be changed. It says, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person.
Yeah, and that's the spirit, because I was going to mention that as well. Nobody questions why the earth was flooded, and only 8 souls made it out alive. See, you know, these people have a misconception of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. And the Lord executes righteous judgment. What is that? Zephaniah 3 and 5. Every day. This day just so happened to be a day that the Lord flooded the earth. That we're reading about, man. For all the wickedness that people were doing, and guess what? Those same people are back here today doing even worse.
Yep. And spare not the old world, but save Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness.
Which Noah is symbolic of the elect.
Bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
Yeah, that's right, because Noah was out there preaching for years upon years upon years, man.
Yep.
And to that day, folly came, in which he was also preparing the ark as well. Pretty much obeying the will of Bahasham Yahawashi leading up to that great day of judgment.
Yep, I believe 120 years to the judgment came. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes.
Now it jumps to the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah in those neighboring cities as well. See, and that's the thing too. Water and fire are both cleansing agents. So this time the Lord rained down fire and brimstone upon those five cities for the wickedness that were being done in them.
Mm-hmm. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemning them with an overthrow, and making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly.
Yeah, and that's the example that America lives by.
Yeah,
here it is. That's an example of like living ungodly, and then they claim to be a God-fearing nation, but then that's what they live by. And you had Trump, he came out and said what he said about it's only two genders, this and that, but that nigga still letting everything go rampant. He ain't really stopping nothing.
He ain't putting his foot
He not
down.
really against it.
Yeah.
He just talking, basically. Because if he wanted to do something about it, he would have made it like a bigger issue, so to speak.
Yeah, he would have took away Pride Month. He would have made some real moves.
Yeah. Let's not forget Trump. We remember what you did. You and Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Remember Mayor Rudy Giuliani dressed up as a damn woman, and Trump was all hugged up on him. Mm-hmm. So you with the shit too.
Well, he saw a sodomite by nature, man.
Yep.
So of course he wants to this sickness to continue and be go on.
At the end of the day, he working for them guys. The small hats.
That's
no matter
right.
how so-called America first he want to make himself seem, that nigga ain't about America.
About his handlers.
Yep. He can't go against the grain.
Yeah.
It says, verse 7, and deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
Yeah, and we the only ones that's vexed about the bullshit that goes on in Babylon. You don't see anybody else making any complaints about it. Even only thing niggas complaining about is their food stamps possibly getting cut.
Yeah.
And the fact that they ain't got no money because everything's so expensive, the jobs, they complaining about bullshit, all right? They're not upset about the wickedness that's taking place in the society.
That's
all
right.
The only ones who actually care about the how things is completely opposite to how it's supposed to be ran according to the spirit of Bahasham Yahawashi are the ones who truly believe.
Yep.
It
says, for that righteous man dwelling among them, in seeing and hearing, vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds.
Yeah, and that's how we be. We gotta operate and function within this society, but then you gotta behold all the wickedness. You out doing your thing, you might see a transformer, a fucking some just nothing but just darkness, basically.
So you watching something that have nothing to do with nothing, and they just throw some sick ass shit in there out of nowhere, like it's for what? Yeah. But it's getting to the point because niggas had that saying, well, as long as they doing it over there, they don't care. It's no longer that. Really, it's this nigga is aggressive with it now. Mm-hmm. It's unavoidable.
He putting it everywhere.
Yeah, you can't escape it.
Clothing, everything.
Yeah.
The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished.
Yeah, and we was through the Spirit delivered from the temptation of all of this, because really that's temptation to give into all this bullshit that these people are giving into. All right, and everybody who has given themselves over to these spirits, basically the spirit of Babylon. Hey, the Lord just preserving you for judgment at this point.
Yep. And ultimately, the Lord is going to deliver His elect from the hour of temptation.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the final trial of the servants of Bahasham Yahawashi's faith, which the elect is going to pass with flying colors, man.
Yep. Because
what? Because they honored Bahasham Yahawashi. They like it says in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, because they match their faith with their works, man. They're going to be saved from the sad perils.
Yep. That's the balance.
It's
not all about destruction.
Yeah. Well, you brought into it. Just Lot, Noah, it's the Lord always dealt and delivered a remnant.
Yep. We can end it off with this. Malachi chapter 4 verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
Yeah, more fuel for the fire, just like it says in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. All the elements is going to melt away, man.
Yep. Isaiah 34, the Lord have a sacrifice in
in
Basra
Basra.
and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. You people are part of that sacrifice.
Yep.
For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, not some, all of you, shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
Yep. There's gonna be nothing left.
Yeah.
Like you be seeing in certain movies, nothing but sand where America used to be. That's literally gonna be America as a whole.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see the Statue of Liberty. You ain't gonna be able to go to the Grand Canyon. Different spots in America you would consider to be beautiful. All that shit finna be erased.
Yep.
It says, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. That healing in his wings is Yahawashi coming back to deliver us and ultimately to change.
Yeah.
We're going to be changed out of these corruptible bodies and receive incorruptible bodies. It says, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. And that's when we get the victory over the beast, and that's when we get to have the glory to come down with Yahawashi and the angels and to take over the earth.
Yep.
To put all you heathen nations in captivity.
Jeremiah the 16th chapter. Fishers are going to be turned to hunters.
Yep. We finally get to get the earth back and punish the people that have destroyed the earth, which are you elites.
The Lord said, wait ye upon me. That's all we doing.
Yeah.
Waiting on him to make his move, and then we can make our move.
Yep.
Sticking to the script.
Yep.
Stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Do for the Lord, and the Lord will do for you. So Lord's word, this lesson was edifying and exhortating to the body. We want to give all praises and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kodash. Shalom to the elect.
Shalom to the elect.
Shalom.